I'm Liv and this is the Marquee Vlog, and we are here today with Lexie Limitless, who is undertaking an incredible expedition in this electric Ford Explorer, and we're going to learn all about it today. Lexie is the youngest person to travel to every country in the world, so she's the perfect person to attempt to circumnavigate the globe in an electric vehicle. We got to meet up with her at the start of the North American leg of her journey. Spoiler alert, Lexie has already achieved this world record on March 26 in Nice, France. She picked up a special passenger, Ford CEO Jim Farley, to cross the finish line while being followed by a bunch of Ford vehicles, including a sweet cyber orange Mustang Mach-E. But before we get to the finish line, let's go back to where this all started in 1922 with a 16-year-old girl and a Ford Model T. Aloha Wanderwell, the first woman to drive around the world. Lexie's journey in the electric Ford Explorer is inspired by the blazing trail that Aloha led around the world and through history. Check the description to learn more about her. Like Aloha, Lexie is a born adventurer. So let's hear more about her travels.
Hi, I'm Lexie. I am currently on an adventure to circumnavigate the world in an electric vehicle, which is a record-setting journey. We've never done anything like this before, and I've officially finished almost 75% of this journey, and got the Ford Explorer here in sunny California to start the sixth continent of this project. I'm really excited to be here. Check out the car a little bit, talk about the journey.
We're so excited to have you. It hasn't all been sunny. There have been some challenges. There's been some weather. You're getting ready for some colder expeditions, but you are not, this is not new to you, this kind of thing. You are the youngest explorer to have traveled to every country, right?
Yes.
When did you do that?
I started traveling when I was really young because my family has a travel agency, so I grew up with a really adventurous family, and when I graduated college, I started backpacking and trying to see as much of the world as possible. I ended up breaking the world record for the youngest to travel to every country, 196 countries, and now I'm doing this with the Ford Explorer. This is my first time actually traveling with an electric vehicle, and so there's been quite the learning curve, so many ups and so many lows along the way, and I would say that I've been discovering so much, not only about the world and these beautiful countries that we're going to. I think we've been to maybe 25 countries so far or something like that, and I'm also learning how much there is about the future of electric vehicles, the EV revolution, and it's been quite the experience.
Amazing. Well, and so you're 74% into your journey. Where can people follow along with your adventures?
So we have a few different places that you can follow along on the adventure. We're currently filming a documentary. You can keep up to all of the updates on Ford News Europe, as well as my social channels at Lexie Limitless. I've been trying to post everything possible about this project every single day, so there's a lot to share.
Amazing. And there are road adventures, there's charging adventures, but there's also some food adventures. Spoiler alert, she might have eaten a tarantula. I don't know. You'll have to check the social media, keep track. It was such a pleasure to meet you, and let's learn some more.
Yeah, let's do it. I've actually only gotten one ticket so far, and
but what?
It was
let's see how the United States does.
It was in Vietnam. Because also one thing that I wasn't necessarily thinking about ahead of time was the fact that I'm ping-ponging from driving on the right side and the left side of the road.
Oh yeah.
In almost every country does it differently. I've actually been driving on the left more than on the right. Quite the journey so far. I've definitely learned a lot about the different infrastructure for EVs around the world. Some places are more surprisingly more well equipped for it than others. And one thing that you mentioned too with India is there's some compatibility issues we've had with chargers, because it's a European car that was made for Europe, so it's specifically tailored to all of the chargers there. And in India, the charging network was actually way better than you would think, but it didn't work with the car. So
Yeah, you got that big old Type 2, right? And
yeah, so we've been having to do a lot of domestic charging, which can take
Or just plugging into an outlet.
hours and hours.
oh yeah,
Days
it
and
can take
days.
anywhere from 30 to 35 hours. So it's a labor of love. I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with EVs right now.
So how long has this been taking you?
I have been on the road for almost 6 months now, 5.5 months.
This travel.
Just non-stop driving every single day. My most recent leg and everything that's you might have seen on social media is always delayed because I have an amazing editor and videographer that I'm traveling with, and we try to do all of this, put everything out while we're doing it, but of course it takes some time to process all of the stuff that we were experiencing. And we drove across South America from Santiago up to the desert and then back down to Buenos Aires and went through some of the most desolate landscapes. We're talking 5 hours of driving without seeing a gas station or a car, like any other cars, humans, roads, like nothing. There's just desert for as far as you can see. And that was the farthest I've had to push the range of the vehicle. The most stressful part of this whole trip, actually, because we were going through the desert. It's like 102 degrees outside.
AC at minimum.
Well, AC off.
I've been there, done that.
It's so hot in this car, just roasting in the desert. And we had to go up a pretty steep set of mountains, and it dropped like 40 kilometers below reaching where the next charger was going to be. Just so much range anxiety the entire time. And as soon as we started going down, like the backside, I gained, I think the hills were so crazy, I gained 120 kilometers of range just coasting. So
actually, I went
crazy.
to Yosemite. I had Mustang Mach-E and I lost so much going up. And on the way down, I think I drove 60 miles and I gained an extra 10 on top of what it said when I started, if that makes sense. So I was actually net positive.
Yeah.
That's like the most satisfying part.
It really is.
Having an electric vehicle is it just charging itself.
Yeah.
So did you carry anything, with like a 5-hour drive like that, did you have like a generator? I mean, there's no charging stations anywhere.
No charging stations.
What
We try to plot out where our route, like what our route is and where we're going to be able to spend the night based on the range of the vehicle. And then we also, in case of emergencies, have 3 battery packs, like electric battery packs.
Those
that are,
EcoFlows,
the EcoFlows.
Okay, the solar panels now.
Yeah.
We actually did try the solar panels as well. So we had some solar panels, and the problem with the solar panels is that it's really unconventional. Obviously, it's not really something for like normal people to use. It's really impractical. But we were trying to test out whatever we could do to make it work, and the solar panels produce like the AC power, which doesn't go directly into this vehicle. It had to go to charge the EcoFlow to then convert the power to charge the car. So that ended up being a not very lucrative endeavor with the charge times as well. There she is. She's here.
Is it like there she is?
I know.
Oh, what's her name?
I started calling her Dora.
Dora.
They didn't like it for copyright reasons, but I like it. It stuck for me.
I did.
Usually around 10 people on our team, which with all of the spare tires,
So it's like a convoy.
Oh, we've got a convoy.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We usually have at least like 3 vehicles.
It's a big
in
endeavor
addition.
as well.
I was just thinking she was by herself driving.
Oh, yeah, we're just-
kind of across the.
Lexie, here are the keys, have fun. See you in 6 months.
I mean, I would have been down for that too.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is something that you do need a lot of support with, especially just even having like enough spare tires just in case something happens, and all of the gear we have for the documentary filmmaking, like equipment. that we need a truck full of all of
Yeah,
our
imagine.
suitcases and everything too for how many people.
That documented.
Accepts, definitely.
Now imagine if the convoy was all EVs.
Oh,
That's next time.
It's really just a challenge with time. Because
Yeah,
we definitely could do it with more EVs in our convoy, but it's really just the amount of time that we want to invest into this project, because it was originally inspired by Aloha Wanderwell, who was the first woman to drive around the world. And it's hard to tell exactly what her schedule is like, but it took her at least 5 years. And I think as enthusiastic as Ford is about this project, I don't think they're wanting to extend it for years.
Well, that was one vehicle though,
Um,
too, right? I think she only drove.
She swapped a lot actually.
did she?
So she used the Ford Model T, but she also had other models of Ford that you can see in different photos. So it's really hard to piece together everything that she did. I had a little get together with some family and friends yesterday, and Aloha Wanderwell's grandson drove up from Newport. He lives down in like Costa Mesa, Newport
That's
area.
awesome.
And he brought these pieces of wood that were off of her original car that had these emblems from all of the different countries that she went to, that were almost like passport stamps for your car. They'd give you these like old metal badges that you could like screw into your car. So he brought some of those and some big prints of hers, and yeah, hearing her stories are incredible. It's like she was 16, 17 years old when she started driving around the world at 1922 as a 6 foot tall blonde lady. crazy
Yeah.
life experience. Yeah, bringing this kind of tech into different continents is complex.
Yeah.
I honestly don't fully understand all of the inner workings of it, which is why it's so important to have someone like Sten that's here to really almost translate some of these tech things into English.
I'm sure you've learned a lot.
Oh yeah,
It would be
definitely.
better.
So I want to know how the reception has been to you guys in various countries, like this convoy of the electric car documentary crew. Have people been excited, curious?
So curious.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's been so much curiosity around it, and it's funny, I see some people taking photos of the car, like from, I don't even see them, and then they show up online of like, hey, I just spotted them in, rural Argentina. Really, really cool to see, and there's definitely been a lot of places that have surprised me with how much infrastructure and excitement they have for EVs. Like for example, in Bhutan, they're this magical country that's like tucked away in the Himalayas, and they have the goal of becoming a carbon negative country, net carbon negative, and they've done a lot of government subsidizing of EVs. So all of their EVs are, all of their public transportation are EVs now, and they have like a fast charger every 30 to 40 kilometers along all of the major highways in the entire country. So, which is amazing to see.
You didn't try that.
So which place were you most looking forward to visit on this trip and didn't meet your expectations, Because we always sort of have an image in our mind of Argentina. Which place blew you away even more so?
The trip going into the trip, the thing that I was most excited about was going to Bhutan. So that one met my expectations and surpassed them, since I've traveled all over the world, and there's a few countries that really have always drawn me back into how different they are from anywhere else. And this little hidden Buddhist country in the mountains is just their way of life. They have they call it the happiest country in the world, because the government even has introduced the idea of gross domestic happiness as opposed to GDP. They compare actually the happiness levels of the citizens as a way to monitor how well the government is doing.
Wow.
So they have so many interesting things about this tiny little country that most people have never even thought of going to, but there's so many temples that are hidden in the mountains with like amazing like monks that are so excited to tell you about all of like their beliefs, and it's just a really special place. So that one was definitely the highlight for me so far. We had a lot of really slow charging experiences in South Africa and Zimbabwe. Oh, the load shedding really caught up with us there. But the bright side of some of, especially the really long domestic charges that we've had to do, where we got 2 nights at this place because it's going to be a 35, 40-hour charge. We end up going out and trying to make the most of that time wherever we are, and we're able to see some really incredible wildlife. Got to see like cheetahs and elephants and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, you really just have to make the most of the time wherever you are, because it's so easy to get really impatient and frustrated with this process. But it has brought me to a lot of places that I would have otherwise never ended up, and routes that I would have never ended up in. And I think it's just one of those things where you have to kind of embrace it and go with the flow and just see where you end up, because it really is fully dictated by how far my range can go and where I'm going to end up. So
I mean, you've already been to over 100 countries, right?
Yeah, so I in 2019 broke a world record for the youngest person to travel to every country. Yeah, so 196 countries.
So nowhere was a surprise for you. You've been everywhere, and you're kind of like in this.
Now you're driving.
Yeah, well,
That's why she's the most qualified person to do it. She's already been everywhere.
Well, I have been to all of these countries before, but I always like to think that I've only scratched the surface of how much there is out there. Like there's so much world and so many little places along the way that you would have otherwise never been to. Like I've never been to the remote parts of northern Chile, especially on a road trip. I've never done those kind of things. So
The question, like for language issues, do you speak other languages, and how did you communicate?
speak body language. I got the body language down. Everywhere, both for this project and for myself in general. Whenever I travel, I try to find a local as soon as possible to like bring with me on the adventure, so that they can help translate and kind of explain like all those little nuances that you kind of pick up on culturally. And having somebody to lean over to and be like, hey, what is that? Like, what are those people doing over there? Is always really helpful. So we've had a local guide in all of the countries that we've been going to that's been kind of helping lead the way and help with the translating, because the language barrier. That's also one of the reasons why I'm so excited to be back in the U.S. It's like finally my country with my people, and we can all speak the same language.
How many times did you have to explain it doesn't run on gas?
Many times, yeah, many times. And especially in some parts of the world, they've never seen a car that looks like this just as a car. They don't even know that it's an EV necessarily, but I've had people go in and be like, oh my God, what is this? It's like, really check it out, and it's cool. People are excited.
Are you still on track? You're going for a world record with this one.
Yes.
Yeah, you're still on track. How are we going with that?
So we're attempting to set a new world record that's never been done before, with the full circumnavigation in an electric vehicle, and we're 74% of the way.
So it is
through
that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so 74% of the way there. The total goal is 28,900 kilometers on 6 continents, both hemispheres, crossing through like Antipodean points. There's all kinds of rules and jargon for the world record attempt, but we're slowly making our way there, and it's hard. It feels like I'm on like the downhill now. hopefully. Well, I'm a bit nervous about the temperatures that we're going to be facing in the U.S. because we're taking the northern route.
Cold.
So it's cold, and as you guys know, EVs aren't a huge fan of the cold.
So you're going from here up along, to Detroit, and then you're
Yes,
going from
Detroit to New York. So
And you're going through Pittsburgh, I think.
yeah, in
Yeah.
Colorado. So yeah, I'm really, because this is the amount of different terrains and weathers and climates and all of this that we've gone through is really one of the most extraordinary parts of this experience. And it feels like, especially with just like the timing of the year and the calendar, we saved the coldest stretch until the end. So it's crazy too, coming from, it was the middle of the summer in Argentina right now. So it's so hot. And then coming back here, it's like middle of winter, and it's gonna be so cold in so many of the places. So time to bundle up and see how it goes.
You've gotten sick or any, because of going from really hot to really cold back and forth. I mean, how's your body adjusted?
No, I when we were in Vietnam, ended up getting really sick. I thought I had maybe COVID or something, but I got tested and that came back negative, and I think I just picked up some crazy virus flu that I did think had a lot to do with like the temperature switch from going from like being in the mountains in Bhutan and then being somewhere tropical like Vietnam. I don't know exactly what happened, but I couldn't get out of bed for like 3 days, which is
And time zones.
Yeah, the time zones. And also, if anything goes wrong, it has disastrous implications on this because it's such a massive project and we have so much planned right after each other. It's like a domino effect if something goes wrong. If I can't drive one day, then this visa gets messed up and we're not going to be able to make it to here on time. And it's just a lot of moving parts.
It's like,
Where did you find the best food?
Yeah.
I love
But
Thai
you could eat it.
Yeah, Thai food is my favorite.
Okay.
So good.
was that fruit that you ate? Was it really good or really nasty?
Oh
That
my
big
gosh.
white I saw the
Yeah,
video.
so I tried when we went from Thailand into Malaysia and then went to the most southern point of Malaysia. And I tried durian for the first time.
Did you smell it?
Oh, it was so bad.
The fact that they tell you in the hotels if
Yeah,
you eat it,
don't
you
bring
with
this
a $250
in here.
fee, like
Yeah.
I tried it too. My video is terrible on YouTube.
Yeah, I was like,
'cause, yeah,
so bad.
It's like eating garbage.
Well,
Yes.
I respect myself too much, and I did not eat it when I went there. So.
And the smell lingers.
I know my
So
plan
long,
limits.
weeks.
Yeah, it was that.
But you gotta do it.
Yeah,
I
you
always
do.
think that you have to try all the foods, you have to meet people,
Yeah.
and like doing things like that just like gets you out of your comfort zone
Yes.
so much. And
Didn't someone get really sick?
yeah, my videographer tried the tarantula and got so sick. It's so funny because everybody's been, it feels like that video really resonated with people as being like so disgusting. And so everyone sees him and they're like, oh, you're the tarantula guy.
Well, you kind of have to do these things, It's like you get a local, it's like, oh, we'll try this. It's
And
gonna
I'm
be
like,
great.
okay. Oh, I've been convinced by social obligation to try way too many things. Whereas it's rude to not do it, so.
Do we want to?
Yeah, wanna check out the car?
Hi, my name is Stan Kisia. I'm part of the functional integration team from Ford, Germany. Yeah.
Awesome. And
Ford
you've been
Explorer.
going around the world with Lexie, Limitless, and this?
No, I've been in the first trip, Europe trip. I supported Lexie all the way down to Greece. After that, I flew back home because of work-related stuff that we had to do in Germany. So.
Awesome. Well, I would love it if you'd show us this amazing electric Ford Explorer.
Yeah, sure.
Only available in Europe, of course. I wish.
All right. So we have the matrix headlamps up front. So they have auto high beams.
Awesome.
The front, I think from the design here, I'm not from the design department, but I think they tried to kind of have the look of the Explorer, the big brother, so you can kind of see the front line and everything. And also in the rear lamps, they tried to kind of have that design from the Explorer that from the big brother from the US.
Awesome. Let's go have a look back there.
Yeah.
This is such a nice petite body style. So this echoes the big brother.
Yeah, exactly. So the lamps, the rear lamps, they kind of look like the Explorer lamps.
Very much so. So what other features, engineering-wise, are unique about this?
Yeah, so on the inside, we have a movable display where you can also put in your valuables and lock it in.
Everyone's really excited to see this. These are actually Lexie Limitless's best friends who live in the area, and they came to check out this car too. So it's super cool to see that they're excited about it as well, seeing it for the first time. Awesome.
Once getting in, as soon as you press the brake, the ignition turns on. So pretty much right now, with the foot on the brake, you can have it going. Oh, the doors are open, so it won't go into D, but you could, if you close the doors, you can go into drive right away. So you don't need to press the ignition. Brake is pretty much your ignition.
Awesome.
Ready. So you have a wireless charging here for your phone. If you leave your valuables, if you're going for a swim or going somewhere, you can actually close this up. It stays locked in place. So once the vehicle is locked, your valuables will be safe inside the vehicle.
That's an amazing feature, and I'm sure that was really useful, especially since this was being trekked around the world.
Yeah. So we have also we have ambient lighting here. We have ambient lighting in the doors.
Which is definitely hard to see in this really bright daylight, but that's a nice amount of trim that it covers. And this carbon fiber inlay, very cool. Texturized.
We have ambient lighting here and in the little cupboard area
Awesome.
as well.
Cool.
There's automatic ambient lighting. There's also individual. Then you can actually choose the colors yourself, and you can choose 2 colors, and you can choose which one of these you want, like what should be lit in what color.
Yeah, it's nice to have that amount of flexibility. It'd be interesting to see it at nighttime.
We have multiple driving profiles, traction, sport, normal. Yeah, it changes also the colors. You have also individual, and you can set up the individual here with drive dynamics, steering, drive, ACC, air conditioning. Yeah. We have lane centering, driver assistance. There's adaptive cruise control, and and you have the speed limiter.
And this is a huge speaker behind it, huh?
Yeah, it's
nice.
There's a sensor in the seat, so once you sit down and you press the brake, the ignition goes on. But if you lift your it goes off.
Wow.
So it knows, like, you literally don't need the start button. So you sit down, close the door, buckle up, press the brake, turn, drive.
What's your favorite part about this cabin?
I would have to say with this this locking feature.
Look
at this.
Yeah.
That's really and that's a lot of space, huh?
You have 2 USB ports here. You have
dang.
2 USB ports in the back as well.
Cool.
You know what they need is
Change these. There's interchangeable content for this. There's also like divider.
And it's really deep.
Exactly. You can fit, I think it was a 14 or 15 inch laptop in here and a water bottle at the same time. Big water bottle.
And side-by-side cup holders, always like that.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
is it double wireless charging or just single?
It's just single.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's still nice that you have the double space for two phones. But I really like that you could put something in there, plug it in and charge it, and then close the display.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can put ignition on for the vehicle. Exterior, all your settings here for exterior. Brakes, you have auto hold. If you can activate it, deactivate it. Unlocking the vehicle when approaching. So before you even touch the door handle, it unlocks the vehicle.
It tells you if your lock fails.
You can say what you want. If you want only your door locked, or if you want the vehicle side to unlock. So when you're approaching from one side, it would unlock only that side that you're approaching.
Well, that was our time here with Lexie, Limitless, and the all-electric Ford Explorer European version only.
Yeah, it was super exciting to learn about the trip, but it was also like we're really excited to see the European Ford Explorer EV. This will not be coming to the US other than for this trip here, but I would love to see this size EV from Ford. Maybe something like this will be coming down the road at some point. They've not announced anything, but it was really cool just to see the vehicle and check it out. There's some like really nice features that I think are just really cool. The tilting screen.
The tilting screen is great. The adjustable ambient lighting is lovely, but ultimately having a smaller vehicle really fits in a gap that we don't have in the American market. I know they're not coming, but I wish they would.
Ford.
Because this is basically on the same platform as the ID4, right?
Yeah, there was a collaboration between VW and Ford, or an agreement or whatever. So it's basically has VW ID4, so the MEB platform underneath. So anyways.
We know I love the ID4 size. It's really well sized for me and for many other people. So I guess we can only get this in Europe for now. But it was really amazing to see this in person, and so cool to hear Lexie Limitless and her story and her adventures. I'm like partially envious and would love to go on the adventures, but also kind of not for the hard parts. I just want the good times.
Yeah, and I think, when I first heard about the trip, I thought it was going to be like this race and trying to go around the world in 80 days or whatever. But just the logistics, I don't think anybody could ever do it that quickly, because how long it takes to move from country to country, all the diplomatic approvals that you have to get, all the logistics, and you're trying to film it.
And even beyond the having to occasionally plug into a wall and charge for 36 hours or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But we should wrap this up, but we want to know from you, how many countries have you been to? What's your favorite? Where do you think you would like to take an EV to? Just
and we know
add to the conversation.
Traveling to other countries is a luxury that not everyone has. So feel free to share the places that you love in your local area if you haven't been to another country. That's a beautiful thing to share too. Thank you so much for joining us for this video in which we met Lexie Limitless. We met the all-electric Ford Explorer European version, and we hung out with all our great friends and other enthusiasts too. Big thank you to our patrons whose names are scrolling across the screen right now. We appreciate you guys so very, very much. Thank you for watching, and just remember that whatever you drive, whether it's a Mach-E or an electric Ford Explorer that you can't get in this country, but you're taking around the world, whatever country you're in, enjoy the ride. Bye.
Bye.